Traders, Jonathan here, coming to you in the next live price action setup. The chart that I've got up today is a US Tech 100 major stock index day chart. It's a live price action setup that I'm looking to get in, and I want to run you guys through this setup and go through why I'm looking to play this setup, why it's a really high probability setup, and why I'm why I'm using this broker, and why I'm looking to how I'm looking to play this chart, and how you guys can also look to play high probability setups like this one too. Firstly, at the start of this video, I want to go through how you guys could also start getting a part of these major stock indices. Lately, a lot of people, a lot of traders, and you guys out there have been asking and wanting to get a part of trading with the major indices. I do get a lot of emails asking what is the best broker and how to go about trading with futures, CFDs, and all the rest of it, and how traders can broaden their horizons further than just Forex. Another question I often get is stock trading, individual stock trading, suitable to what we do? And the answer to that question is the best markets are those markets that are highly liquid, that have really good volatility, and that don't have gaps. Now, for that, the major indices or the major indexes are really great because they don't have gaps. You will notice in this chart there's really good movement. Okay, there's not gaps. Okay, so by that I mean there's not a movement and then a big gap. Okay, there's not a big gap in between in between every candle. We can get really good margin. Okay, there's really good leverage to make our trades. This market is open pretty much 24 hours during the week, whereas with individual stock trading you'll find that the market's only open 8 hours per 24. It's only open for those 8 hours per that individual session for that country. So if you trade in Japan and you want to trade a stock in Japan, it'll be only open for the Japanese market for the Japanese 8-hour session. Or if you trade in the US and you want to trade a US stock, you'll have to trade for the 8 hours in the US. Whereas if you trade the major indexes, these are open for pretty much 24 hours, give or take the periods where they are closed in between the different sessions. Okay, they are closed for a few periods there, here and there, but pretty much they're open for the majority of the time during the week. So these major stock indices or indexes are really good markets. The same thing goes for a few of the commodities such as natural gas, or the gas markets, oil, coffee, wheat. A few of those other markets fall into the same basket and can be really good to add on as extra markets to put in the watch basket and trade. And the reason why we don't want to just get stuck watching one or two Forex pairs is because we can fall into really forcing ourselves to make a trade when there's no trades possibly to be made. When we're watching a wide variety of markets, we can then just cherry pick the very best trades. We can then take just the best trades from a wide variety of markets. Okay, when we're just watching a handful of markets, we may get frustrated and we may force trades, and that's the last thing we want to do. This particular US Tech 100 index is a major stock index that's comprised of technology companies, and it's located in the US stock exchange. To look at this particular setup, so we have this daily chart, and it's really obvious daily support level. Okay, so we have this really obvious daily support level through here. Price was contained below this support, and we had price trying to break this resistance. We had a first test, a second test, and now we've had this really strong movement. If I zoom this chart out before, you'll notice that we've had this really clear trend. So we've had a higher high, another higher high before this deep retracement, and now we're making higher highs, a higher low. So price is making a really clear trend. Before this deeper retracement, price was in a really obvious trend, and this goes on for a long time. If I take the chart back out to the weekly chart, or it won't go that far, but if I show you, see if I zoom out now, you'll see this goes on for a long time. Price has been in a really obvious trend for a sustained period of time before we get to where we are now on the daily chart. Price has now made this retracement back into this really obvious support level, and the good thing about this retracement, you'll notice I've deliberately drawn this arc, because this arc has been created. It now creates what we often talk about, and what I often discuss in these videos. It creates space, and that's important. A major mistake that a lot of traders often make is that they don't trade reversals from the correct swing points. And what I mean by that is they don't trade their pin bars or 2 bars or their engulfing bars or whatever the reversal signal is they're trading. They don't trade it from the correct swing point. And what that means is they're often trading straight back into a resistance or a support. Because this has formed a nice arc, and because it's formed at a correct swing low, price has space to move back into. All this space. If I push this chart back here, you'll see now that if price had not have made this nice arc, and if price had instead have formed like this, there would be no space, and price would be trading straight back into a resistance here. Okay, I know that's kind of hard to imagine, but if you can imagine that price went like that and formed the 2 bar here, the resistance would be here, and price would be breaking higher and straight back into that resistance. But because there's been a nice big arc, that creates all this space inside, and if price can break higher, it has room to move back higher into this area and into the resistance back higher. It creates this resistance back higher just because it has made this nice swing back into the swing low. I'm now looking to take this setup. I'm now looking to take a break and take a confirmation of this 2 bar higher. And if price can break higher, I'll look for price to break higher and look to break into the recent highs. This is a really obvious setup. We have this 2 bar reversal. I discussed these 2 bars, and I'll put a link at the bottom of this video about how the 2 bar reversal is formed and how you can look for the 2 bar in your trading. But basically, a 2 bar reversal is a pin bar that forms over 2 sessions. So we have this first break lower, and that's the first part of the pin bar, and then we have the quick snap back higher. But whereas over one session the pin bar forms over one session, the 2 bar reversal forms over 2 sessions. So the 2 bar forms the first session, then the second session. Okay, so that's the price action trigger I'm looking to use to get into this trade. If it can break higher, I will use that as my entry, and I'll look for price to move back into these highs before possibly looking as a breakout. But the highs will be my first target, and I'll look for price to continue this move back into the highs, back into this space I've just discussed. I'll leave a link at the bottom of this video for you to use to look into the 2 bar reversal. I hope you've enjoyed and really learned something about this video. If you want to learn anything more, just post up any of your questions in the comments below, and I'll look forward to talking to you soon.